Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all present today. Welcome to the fourth round of English debate competition Intervarsity Science E-Debate Challenge 2021. The motion for this debate is this House, as a developing country, would aggressively promote the use of alternative medicine. So I will be the chairperson and the timekeeper for room 4. So let me now introduce you the debaters. Acting as a government team for this debate is the team from UUMA with Ms. Kirtiga as the Prime Minister, Ms. Durgashini as the Deputy Prime Minister, Ms. Parmintit Kaur as the Government Whip. Acting as the opposition team for this debate is the team from UTHMB with Ms. Alia as the opposition leader, Mr. Amir as the second opposition speaker, and Mr. Tanadol as the opposition whip. Now we come to our debate today. To open the case for the government team, I call upon the Prime Minister to start the debate session.
All right. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you're
Yes.
audible.
I'll begin my speech in three, two, one. So, if a hospital is offering a treatment based on fantasy, it undermines the credibility of the institution. So, this is what Dr. Steven Salzberg from Johns Hopkins have stated. But what would I like to say here is alternative medicine is not a mere fantasy or it is some kind of witchcraft. Okay, so let me give define that what alternative medicine is. Alternative medicine or the term describes medical treatments that are used instead of traditional or the mainstream therapies, and it is also commonly known as integrative or complementary medicine. So there are many examples of alternative medicines, and some of the main alternative medicines that we are well aware of, it would be acupuncture. So this is a traditional Chinese medicine technique that uses needles to stimulate specific points around the body. So the person who performs this therapy is an acupuncturist, and it is an actual job. So they go to many safety producers where they stick sterile the needles into your skin, and the main goal of doing this is to help your body's natural healing process. Meanwhile, another common phrase or another common alternative that we are very well aware of is Ayurveda. It is one of the world's oldest medical system, and it started in India more than 3000 years ago, and it is still widely used in that country today. So what am I trying to say is these alternative medicines are a form of medicine as well, and we have no reason to object it, and therefore I would like to propose the motion where alternative medicine should be promoted aggressively. So, to those who rely on herbs, special diets, and uh, let me explain what other type of alternative medicine is applied in order to cure the illness. Okay, so one of the main method or one of the method used by alternative medicine to cure would be diets and herbs. Over the centuries, our mankind has gone from a simple diet consisting meats, fruits, vegetables, and grains, and we have evolved to a point where our diet now consists of food rich in fats, oils, complex carbohydrates, and unnecessary junk food. Nutritional excess and deficiency have become problem in today's society. As we all can see, the rate of obesity has been rising, and many other diseases worldwide has been rising. It is proven fact, and all this nutritional access and deficiency have become problems in today's society, which has eventually lead to a certain chronic diseases. Many dietary and herbal approaches attempt to balance the body's nutritional well-being. So why am I okay? The main point I would like to place over here is why we should promote the alternative medicine aggressively is because one of their form of cureness is via diet and herbs. This doesn't require any additional or unknown substances where you just swallow pills that you don't know what it contains. But this the food, the way that alternative medicine provides a solution is by controlling your diets and food, and by eating consuming healthy food. So having a control over your diet, your daily diet, and the amount and the content of your meal is one of the form of cureness, and this is why this plays as a major reason why it should be aggressively promoted in order to secure a better health. Moving on to the second point, why alternative medicine is also should be promoted aggressively is due to mind. um, we all know that energy healing, and we are very we might be we might have heard this kind of terms such as energy healing and stuff like that. And mind definitely plays a major role in healing. So you might be sick, but the moment you think that you are sick, then you are actually falling into sick. Your mind plays a huge role that you don't even know that it is playing. Your mind is your mind is plays does wonderful things that it is very important to captivate it and use it, and heal your mind first in order to heal your body. So even standard or conventional medicine recognizes the power of connection between the mind and body. And there are so many studies from trusted sources which have found that people heal better if they have good emotional and mental health. Therapies using mind are proven to be safe, and it is also proven to produce a positive outcome. For an example, I would like to say a person, there might be two-person who might be diagnosed with cancer. I'm not trying to say that a person with a positive mindset would eventually cure or would be cure in within 3 months. Meanwhile, the person with a negative mindset is gonna rot and go through a very painful death. But what am I trying to say is, when you're having a positive mindset, when you connect, when you have a good emotional, good health in mental health, the process of your healing process is naturally better compared to a person with a very bad mental state. And this is proven by many trusted resources. The third point that I would like to speak about is body touch. Touch has been used in medicine since the early days of medical care, and healing by touches is based on the idea that illness or injury in one area that the body can affect all parts of the body. If with manual manipulation, the other parts of can be brought back into optimum health, the body can fully focus on healing at the site of injury or illness. So, these body techniques or the body touch techniques are often combined with the mind methods that I have mentioned earlier. This plays as one of the main reason why alternative reasons should be aggressively promoted. And another reason why alternative medicine should be promoted is because it is proven to cure. Based on a report from Winchester Hospital, hospitals affiliated with Yale, Duke, John Hopkins, and other top medical research centers also aggressively promote alternative therapies. Why do you think so? Because it is proven to heal. Okay, and it is also stated that empowerment of the individual to participate in and take responsibility for his or own health plays as a major factor how it heals an individual. I would apologies. In today's days and age, we are recognizing more and more about the effects of our bodies having and what we put inside of them. There are many advantages of using alternative medicine. Therefore, I don't see a single reason why we should be opposed. I hope that the floor of the me- I hope that the members of the floor would be able to see the reason and fully support, aggressively promote the use of alternative medicine. With this, I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Speaker.
Yeah, you can see.
To open the case for the opposition team, I call upon the leader of opposition to continue the debate session.
Thank you, Chairperson. I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Mr. Speaker, today's motion, the House as a developing country aggressively promotes the use of alternative medicine. I have to agree to the first speaker's definition. But one question to the government, you have stated the benefits of alternative medicine, but what does it got to do with a developing country aggressively promoting it? Next, I have a question. Not You mentioned earlier about the acupuncture, okay? And there are some medical conditions that people face where they are terribly, terribly afraid of getting needles, even though vaccine or they are like flu vaccine or anything. They are terribly scared of that. So what is going to happen if like that is like the one of the only ways? Let's put it in a world that is the one of the only ways to cure she or his disease. What is going to happen to him or her? Because some of us have different pain tolerance. So some of us can tolerate the needles. So as acupuncture, we don't usually just use one needle to go through us. We usually have a lot of needles, and for some people's pain tolerance, they might not be able to tolerate that much pain. All right. So you also mentioned about the herbs. So herbs are actually disappropriate for most and some conditions. It may worsen the condition. It is not suitable for most condition and it is not as effective as the modern day drug. By the way, you also mentioned about the healing with the mind. So yeah, I agree that you heal with your mindset. But if I were to get infected by something, and that would actually already devastate my mentally and also physically. So I wouldn't be able to actually set a good mind. I might be positive that okay, I'll be okay, but that doesn't have like a strong point to it that it can actually heal a person's disease. So you said body touch. Okay, what about a patient
POI.
that doesn't? Yes.
You just stated that you wouldn't be able to set a positive mindset, but isn't that the very main reason why you should refer to alternative medicine?
I'm sorry.
Earlier, you mentioned that when you are diagnosed with some terrible illness, you wouldn't be able to have a positive
Mhm.
mindset. But isn't that the very main reason why you should refer to the alternative medicine?
I mean, like, okay, some people are actually okay in like okay. So let's say some people have different mental health stage. So what if they just cannot go to the traditional? They don't want or what even though you push them to okay have a good mindset, they just can't because their mental health won't allow it. And mental health is something your mind tricking your mind into believing that you are okay. It's not something you can just do simply just like that. So moving on, firstly, as a leader of the opposition, I would like to make side opposition stance clear. Alternative medicine does have its benefit in the medical field, but aggressively promoting it as developing country is not a good move. We concede to the fact that some alternative medicines have its benefits, but aggressively promoting it to a developing country where the medical infrastructure is not at a high level will only bring more harm than good. Whereas my deputy leader of opposition will bring forth the argument of promoting modern medicine is the better option for developing nations as well as the harm of aggressively promoting alternative medicine to a developing country. The opposition whip will be rebutting the arguments from side government as well as summarizing the case for side opposition. As leader of the opposition, I myself will present the argument that aggressively promoting alternative medication to a developing country will only hinder the country's modern advancement in the medical field. The reason being, you see, we have the technology such as X-rays. X-rays technology help your doctor view the inside of your body without having to make an incision. This can help them diagnose or monitor or treat these medical conditions. Since modern medicine primarily use radiation and drugs to facilitate improvements in health in the treatment of various illnesses and can be more advanced in curing many diseases, detecting and diagnosing many diseases, why would we let that go to waste? And why would we make use of the technologies we have now? Talking about diagnosing diseases, we have uh, we have a lot of types of x-rays. This just proven in like thinking in a logical way, modern drugs are more efficient and in manner of time, in terms of time, modern medicines are also be proven to be more effective than alternative medicine. It is not as some traditional treatments work well, but modern medicine just takes these traditional treatments and make them more effective, more less time consuming, and heal a patient even more quickly. So if the government thinks that by aggressively promoting alternative medicine is like is a must, I mean it's a good way, that I have to disagree, because some people I'm sorry, some people they just we cannot just leave the options. There are the reasons why medical are being modernized, because it actually helps a lot. It actually helps the patient a lot. So that will be all from me. I will end my speech here. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank the speaker for their speech. So, Mr. Amir.
Give me a second. I just need to organize my thoughts. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Okay, we can start. You can start.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes,
Am I
I can
audible?
hear you.
All right. Okay. Good afternoon to the respectable educators and everyone here on the floor. So I, as Deputy Prime Minister, would like to support the motion that this House, as a developing country, would aggressively promote the use of alternative medicine. And before I move on to my point, I would like to rebut the statement that is given by the leader of the opposition. Okay. Firstly, opposition leader said that she couldn't get why we are relating alternative medicine to a developing country. Let me answer her question. Uh, can you all pause? Is anyone mic turn on? It's noisy. Okay. And coming back, the leader of opposition said she could not see why we are saying it better for developed country. Developing country comes with a lot of concerning health issues, and let me relate it to alternative medicine here. We can take an example as in a developing health in a developing country nowadays. We can see in Malaysia or any other countries that are developing, there are a lot of, especially now during the COVID-19 era, we have a lot of mental health issues. We have a lot of anxiety, depression, and sleep deprivation, and there's just so many things going on. So this is how we are linking it to the alternative medicine, and why we are saying that alternative medicine is better, because uh, the point for my this one will be given in my explanation for my point. So let me rebut first. So the okay, so the leader of opposition said that it is not suitable for every condition. Yes, we are not here arguing that the alternative medicine is suitable for all the condition. We are just saying why is it better to be practiced and why we should promote it aggressively. So let me move to my substantive material, and I will explain to you why alternative medicine is better than modern medicine in the developing country. First and foremost, alternative medicine operates with a holistic concept of health. It considers the physical, mental, social, and spiritual well being of a person. And by taking alternative medicine, the patients are expected to receive more benefits than just alleviating the painful side. Some may include increased energy of the physical performance of the individual, while methods like medication and chiropractic might help the patient to be relieved from stress that may be from stress that is resulting for the disease. Okay, let me put it in a simple word. Let's say if a person is having, as I was talking about mental health issue, let's say a person is having a panic disorder or a maniac attack, and this is where you can see the difference, where modern medications just prescribe you with antidepressant just for you to get over the manic attack episode. But when you come for alternative medicine, there is no such thing as something to consume. They teach you breathing techniques. They teach you about nerve points on how, where you should press for how many seconds, so that you are relieving the pain and you can get over your depression overall, not only that manic episode. This is where we take a stand to be different from the modern medication. Secondly, it is also boosting for the immune system. That was my second point, because modern medicine, on the other hand, it only focus on eliminating the disease, and it doesn't put much consideration to other condition, and that might be resulting of the disease. If you have stomach pain, I'm only using your stomach pain. If you have leg pain, I'm only using a leg pain. It doesn't give that overall impact on a person's health. My third point would be why alternative medicine is better than then
POI?
I will accept later. Hold on. So it's because of its consistency. This is mainly because alternative medicine, they follow a course of nature. It gives the patient body a chance to heal itself and get back into their natural state. Modern medicine never do that. It is not consistent, because when a person take drug, which I'm referring to modern medication here, your body will develop certain resistance towards the drug. And drug resistance is actually the ability of the disease that is carrying the microorganisms to withstand resistance. And the next time you take it, it might not even be it, once the resistance is built, next time you take the drug, you might not even like work well. Okay, let me give a simple example. This will happen when you are prescribed antibiotics, and when you didn't finish your antibiotics because you build up the resistance already later part, and the next time you get fever, you will be prescribed with another type of drug, which is a stronger antibiotics, because drug only build resistance, and it does not cure the thing completely. It just
POI,
want a
please.
yes, accepted.
All right. So you mentioned that the use of modern medicine is inconsistent. What makes you so sure that with alternative medicines that have not been studied properly, for example, Ayurveda that contains lead in them, that will guarantee success in treatments? Please elaborate. Thank you.
Ayurveda treatment or whatever alternative medicine, they have their course of nature. It's not that I go and how to say, let me put it very simple words lah. You go and consult, and then they want to give you medicine, and after you eat, it's done. It's not like that. You will have to come back. You will have to do step by step. You have the course of nature. You have to follow it as if you're following a course. Even like yoga training, the first day you have to do this. That is how I say it is very, very consistent. Okay, so and our opposition side also mentioned about X-ray. I am here to clarify that X-ray is a procedure, not a modern medication. You can still do your X-ray and still consult to get alternative medicine. That is a very irrelevant example that has been used by the opposition. So since my time is running out, so I would like to conclude that alternative medicine is way more better than modern medicine, and I feel that it is very much needed, especially in developing countries, as the issues that as I mentioned just now. So I from the as the deputy prime minister, I agree that this house as a developing country would aggressively promote the use of alternative medicine. And that is all from me today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Speaker.
Yeah, sure, okay, proceed.
Okay. Now, I call upon the Deputy Leader of Opposition to continue their case for their side.
Am I audible?
Yes, clear.
Thank you, thank you. Hold on, eh?
Okay, okay. You can start.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the floor, the motion today discussed that uh, this house as a developing country would aggressively promote the use of alternative medicines. And as stated by my first speaker, we're on the opposition side. We're saying that alternative medicine does have its benefit in the medical field, but aggressively promoting it to a developing country is not a good move. And the reasons why I'll explain in my argument later. But to first rebut the points given by the government side, one thing's one point that she mentioned is alternative medicines were proven to cure. Okay, let's take that fact into consideration. How about the amount of people that has used modern medicines to help them in cancer, in HIV, and there's also statistics showing that these diseases have drastically decreased due to the prescription and the advancements of medical treatments. And one thing that the government team fails to understand is modern medicine does not only encapsulate things that we consume, but it can also encapsulate treatments and technologies that has been given. That is why my first speaker has used uh, an X-ray, because X-ray is a medical treatment or a technology that was possible. And then to continue my rebut, it says that the second speaker has said that modern medicine does not boost the immune system or it doesn't affect the boost system. For a fun fact, vaccine, I think you can consider vaccine as modern medicine because it's developed now and it's not traditional or alternative. Vaccines are uh, vaccines help to improve our immune system to fight against, especially now, COVID. And vaccines such as Pfizer or Astra, those are examples of modern medicines that work. And as I stated before, we on the opposition side, we're not arguing the fact whether
POI, please.
sorry, hold on. We're not arguing the fact that modern medicines or like alternative medicines are bad. We're saying that alternative medicines has its time and place, and we're not trying to promote it aggressively based on the motion. And to continue on to my first point, is promoting modern medicine is the better option for developing country because it helps circulate the money into the economy. And what this does is when you have the money and the people using this treatment, using this technology, it can potentially improve and bring better results for the generation. Think to yourself, okay? The basic concept of economics is supply and demand. For a developed country, when more people are focused in using a modern technology such as MRIs or CT scan, which is CT scans are basically just improved version of X-rays, where X-rays can view a specific part of the body, whereas CT scans are much more effective, much more efficient, and that is why we want to say that by on our side, if you do promote modern medicines, it can help these technologies to improve even further. The revenues from the need of the public and then can be directly applied to drastically improve this technology, which in turn will enhance the betterment of our life quality. Because at the end of the day, we need to realize that the point of this medicine, be it modern or alternative, is to get to be more healthier or to be better. We're not trying to downplay alternative medicines. It, like I said before, it has its time and place. But when a country develops more usage on modern medicines, in our world, the technology of CT scans, the technology of CT scans was possible because this country are using more and more of modern technologies. This was all possible because of the circulating revenues, and this helps in funds for researchers and engineers to develop better and better technologies or medical treatment that could potentially be much better and uh, proven to be better as overall as compared to alternative medicine. And like I stated before, even the vaccines was all possible because of these existing components or equipments. And guess what? That is from the circulation of economy that the opposition side believes in. In comparison, right? If we take alternative medicines, where it has been the same for the longest time, but it does not take into account that humans are also evolving from the lifestyle and how we are, and there's lots of small things that really do play a big role that can impact and show that each individual is incredibly different. So to my second point, I would like to say the harm of aggressively promoting alternative medicine. I'd like to explain about the harms of aggressively promoting alternative medicine to a developing country. Alternative medicine as a whole has lack of research that will guarantee it to be safe for the public use, especially in developing countries where the medical infrastructure, and I want to emphasize on developing country, the medical infrastructure of the country is already not at a great level. By promoting alternative medicines, the people of the country will look at alternative medicines as the first treatment as compared to modern medicines. And this will inevitably will cause rise in non-believers that could potentially uh, that could potentially harm more people towards modern medicines, whereby modern medicines were researched properly and they were tested. We believe that modern medicines have a higher chance of success, and now you have a population, and now you would have a population that is not confident in modern medicine as compared to one that has total faith in alternative. This act of promoting aggressively will then cause a domino effect whereby the fundings for modern medicines will inevitably be reduced and the medical infrastructure of the country will fail. And and that is why I am proud to oppose. Thank you.
I would like to thank you the I would like to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for his remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall now call upon the government whip to rebut.
Okay, hold on please, my phone is kind of lagging.
Mhm.
Am I audible?
Oh,
Hello?
good.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. So I will start in 3, 2, 1. A very good day I bid to the dedicators and our fellow debaters today. So the motion for our debate today is that this House, as a developing country, will aggressively promote the use of alternative medicine. We, the government side, support the motion, and as a third speaker of the government side, I will address all the weaknesses in the arguments that were brought up by the opposition side and reaffirm my team's case and ultimately prove that we have the better stand in this debate. So, first of all, let's refer back to the argument brought up by the opposition side. They mentioned, both the speakers, for the second speaker mentioned, that a developing country should not aggressively promote the use of alternative medicine. Now, let me just let you all know that a developing country is not a developed country. A developing country is a country that is still developing from its first state. So, this is exactly why I will rebut this statement by saying that this is the reason why we need to the use of alternative medicine, because a lot of things need to be developed in a developing country, and we should
POI,
look for
please.
methods. I'm sorry, decline. We should look for alternative methods instead of only relying on modern medicine. And they also mentioned that. Okay, wait, hold on. Yeah, and there's also the speaker, leader of opposition, which mentioned that things like alternative medicines like herbs, they can worsen condition. Now, what about modern medicine, like pills, like antidepressants? These medicines also cause dependency. They give side effects. You get mood swings. You lost your appetite. These are also symptoms of condition worsening in an individual when taken. And there's no denying that yes, it doesn't work for everyone, but we are encouraging the use so that people who maybe they can work on them and they can enjoy the benefit. And as mentioned by second speaker of my team, the X-ray point is not relatable at all with with why we shouldn't promote the use of alternative medicine, because X-ray is a procedure. And and also, the opposition side mentioned that modern medicine is better because it heals quickly. Okay, yes, it does heal quickly, but at what cost? Okay, even though in comparison, let me just give you an example and compare this both. Modern medicine do heal quickly, but when you are using the alternative medicines, it treats the actual cause of the pain or disease that has occurred. And by understanding the disease and treating the disease, a lot of alternative medicine professionals are able to work at the root of the problem. Now, I will just give you one example. For example, if you have high blood problem, high blood pressure problem, and if you are using modern medicine, of course, the pills, the injections, it can help you, and you no longer have high blood pressure. But if you are working with the alternative medicines, it will help you eradicate the cause of the problem itself, the stress. It will keep you calm, and you won't even get high blood pressure in the first place to begin with. And then a member of the opposition also mentioned that vaccines is an example of a modern medicine that helps to boost our immune system. And nobody is denying that fact. We did not deny that fact. But let's see. Vaccine is a prevention method. It is not a cure. It's not a treatment. So what about effects on our lungs after getting COVID-19? Vaccine is not going to cure that effect. And so that sort of effects can be cured if you are using alternative
POI,
medicines.
please.
I'm sorry, decline. Ayurveda and other methods that work on breathing exercises. And next, they also mentioned that money is the problem because people will use yes, yeah. I agree with them that yes, more people are using modern technology right now, modern medicine, and let's talk about its feasibility and affordability. So the use of the opposition side mentioned that the continuous use of modern medicine can help to improve the technology. Yes, it can help to improve, but what about people who can't afford it? What are they going to do? Will they receive the benefit of the improvement of the modern medicine? However, on the other hand, anyone, regardless of financial status, can use alternative medicine, can enjoy the benefits of alternative medicine. And then there's also a point mentioned by the opposition, which states that the harms, it give harms of the harms of aggressive promotion, which includes that it is not safe and lack in research. Now, okay, it lacks in research, but why do you think is that so? It's because we are relying so heavily on modern medicine. Everyone is funding and investing on research and development of modern medicine. If people knew the importance of alternative medicine, if we, the government side, promote the importance of alternative medicine and people know about the alternative medicine, they will be able to conduct scientific research on alternative medicine as well. Any POIs? No? Okay, I shall continue. Um, Finally, there's also a point mentioned that there will be a rise in non-believers if there is a promotion, if we promote the use of of alternative medicine. Now, that is not true. Even now, without promoting the use of alternative medicine, there are people who believe that slimming pills will work, that you don't have to exercise and you can just take these and you can lose your weight. These pills, they are considered something modern. They are not a part of alternative medicine. So this kind of things still happen now. So at least with the advancement, if by promoting the use of alternative medicine, we can work on more people enjoying the benefit of it because it has a lot of benefits, as mentioned by my team's first and second speaker. In terms of holistic view on health, it boosts immune system, it looks at the problem as a whole, and vice versa. So I guess that is all the points mentioned by them. And so, ladies and gentlemen, in referring to whether or not we should promote we as a developing country should promote the use of alternative medicine aggressively, the government side, it is obvious that the government side has provided a more compelling case. The opposition side has been circling around the same points of the issue while paraphrasing points of each other's arguments, whereas we, the government side, has been more comprehensive on why we support the motion to and with that, I rest my case.
Thank you, Ms. Speaker, for your remarks. It is now the time to listen to the rebuttals of opposition whip.
Hello, am I audible?
Yep, you're good.
Yes, Anadol.
All right, I'll be starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the arguments brought forth by side government today has absolutely no correlation towards the motion of today, which is that this house, as a developing nation, would aggressively promote the use of alternative medicine. And so, first things first, let's look at both arguments from both sides of this debate today. So, from side government, their best case scenario is that alternative medicine, if aggressively promoted in a developing nation, is widely used in its medical field, right? So, since alternative medicines is already so prevalent in these developing countries, less research and funding will go into life-saving modern treatments. So what happens now is that weaker medical infrastructure and the total failure of the developing countries' medical field. What happens now is that the population, as my second speaker mentioned, the population of these developing countries do not have faith in these life-saving modern medical treatments, and instead will rather opt into alternative medicine, which is first of all not proven reliable. And so one of the speakers mentioned earlier is that why researchers is that why alternative medicine is not so prevalent in the medical field nowadays is that because researchers pour more funding and pour more effort towards the advancement and research of modern medicine. Why do you think that is? Because modern medicine is effective. Modern medicine is easier to implement compared to alternative medicine. Alternative medicine will take has been researched, and it has found that alternative medicine is not the best way to cure a certain treatment. And so what happens when you have a whole country, a whole demographic, a whole population of people believing in only alternative medicine? Your hospitals will not be able to support you in times of a crisis. And so moving on to the arguments of the prime ministers. So Prime Minister mentioned that alternative medicine is safe. What side opposition have to say to that is a lot of alternative medicines have not been studied thoroughly yet, and so we could not conclusively say that as of right now, alternative medicine has its risk. So what makes you so sure that these alternative medicines will not have will not have its backlash, right? So all these centuries of use, all these centuries of use of alternative medicine, and so now with modern technology, we are moving towards the future. Why would we rely on centuries old use of techniques of medical treatment in which they do not necessarily produce the optimal outcome, ladies and gentlemen? The keyword to remember here is the optimal outcome. What do we want when we go to seek treatment for an illness? Obviously, right, we want to get better, we want to eradicate this illness and sickness from ourselves. And so side government has mentioned that, oh, in order to cure a sickness, to go for the root cause of the sickness, quote unquote, is to actually the use of alternative medicine is the best way. Well, what we have to say to that is completely true and blatantly false, completely false and blatantly ridiculous statement, is because alternative medicine in its use fundamentally in a developing nation, people obviously in a developing nation, they are not as well versed, they are not as financially stable or financially adequate when it comes to their financial. So when they over rely on these alternative medicines, you do not see we will not see credible results by credible professionals. And so when you focus more on promoting alternative medicine in a developing country, these obviously will bring a lot of harms. It will bring a lot more bad than good compared to when you promote a modern medicine instead of alternative medicine. And side government also mentioned that modern medicine treatments include taking pills, taking prescribed jabs, and so on and so forth. And we over rely on these modern treatments, and they are not reliable because obviously when we take a certain form of treatment, there is a possibility of relapse. What they do not fail to realize is that at what they did not fail to realize is that these modern medicines are properly tested by certified professionals for many years in the field of medicine. What guarantee what does side government guarantee that, a for example, for alternative medicine, right, since it is not verified, since it is not as studied as well as modern medicine, what are the chances of a, let's say, a fraudster coming up with these magical leaves as seen at some parts of the world, and claiming that, oh, it is the cure to cancer, it is the cure to any disease you could ever think of, right? And so what this does is that at the end of the day, we have to realize the importance of modern medicine in the medical field as well. And without what as our leader of opposition mentioned earlier, yes, we do concede to the fact that alternative medicine has its good use as well, but we are not. But the decision to aggressively promote this alternative medicine will only bring more harm to a developing country, whereas the medical infrastructure of this country is already at a low. So what happens now is that when you implement and when you aggressively promote alternative medicine, obviously more and more people are going to be tempted to try alternative medicine. So what happens now? More and more people try these alternative medicines that do not prove to be efficient, do not prove to be functional. And so these people are unaware, as people are unaware of these of risks, of certain risks and backlash from what they are taking, because once again, these alternative medicines are not heavily researched. They do not have any credible form of substantial proof that these alternative medicines work. And so once again, from side government, from side opposition, we strongly oppose this motion. Thank you.
CP, you're mute. You're mute.
Now that we have heard all of the three speakers from both teams, we shall take a 1 minute break. During this time, both of the government and also the opposition teams will prepare their reply speech. So 1 minute starts now. The time
Sorry.
of 1 minute. Yes.
Sorry,
Yes,
sorry. I
Anna.
thought you were muted as well.
Oh, the time of 1 minute has ended. I shall now invite the second speaker from the opposition team to deliver their reply speech.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, audible on me.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'll start in three, two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the floor, one thing that we need to realize for today is the motion for today is not arguing about the benefits of alternative medicines. It's about whether we want it to be aggressively promoted or not. As stated by the opposition leader just now, we do concede the fact that alternative medicines have its benefit, but it also has its time and its place. The reason why we don't want it to promote aggressively is uh, one, modern medicines have been researched extensively to the point where it can be more effective, it can be more efficient, and who knows, because of the current concept of technology, is the more effective and the more efficient it is, at a certain point, it will also be more affordable. So more people can actually use it, as explained by my second point of how it will circulate throughout the economy. And to take on the opposition side, we have given you cases and we have given you points that would be applicable in a way that in these two scenarios, the narrative of we want modern medicines to be promoted, and uh, we don't want alternative medicines to be aggressively promoted, because like our team has stated before, by aggressively promoting alternative medicine, the problem is it might hinder the country's modern advancement of technology, and it might not properly help circulate all of the money into the economy. Like I stated before, it can help create new and better technology, and it can be a much more optimal way of medical treatments, medical or just prescription in general. So these are the things that we on the opposite side is trying to promote. On the other hand, if we do aggressively promote, like in the government side, we are not able to properly help fund these new technologies. And even though it works, but is it working at its optimal level? Promoting modern medicine, modern medicine as a whole is great because each time a medicine, a prescription is being come up with, it's usually has been gone through extensive research. There will be drugs, there will be the name, the prescription, the dosage, all of those infos that are necessary to make sure that it's safe for consumption and it's safe for the general public to use. And it was all possible because of the advancements of technology, the advancements of these medicines. And we also have stated the harms of aggressively promoting alternative medicines. The reason why we don't want it to be aggressively promoted is it lacks the research that the public need. It lacks those kind of information that are necessary for the public and that are necessary for the public to generally consume and or even done by the professional. So even a case study, right? Imagine back then where imagine a pregnant mother trying to give birth. There are a lot more cases of death of mother and the child itself due to the lack of proper medication or proper ways of like the like the surgery where they would help remove the baby in a potentially better way. So because of those examples, right, we want the world to be better. We want the advancements of this modern technology. And that is why we on the opposition believe that alternative medicine does have its benefit, but aggressively promoting it to a developing country is not a good move. And I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I shall now call upon the Prime Minister for the government team to deliver their reply speech.
Yes. I'm the government replies. I'm the speaker who's going to speak. Do the reply speech. I am audible, right?
Yes, Kirtiga.
All right. Moving on. I'll start my speech in three, two, one. To the members of the floor, welcome for the very last time from today's government. It is now my pleasure to summarize this debate and take a look at what both sides have actually said and what is the outcome of the debate. The opposition the opposition stated a very well point, which was about the speed of the recovery. But the government clearly took over this issue by portraying that the success rate of curing a disease clearly plays a way more pivotal role than the time taken to recover. I'm not trying to enforce the idea of alternative medicines have better success rate, but having it as an option pro- uh, routes to a higher success rate. Just because it does not provide immediate results, it does not mean it should not be promoted. The government only chooses to cherry pick the medical cases that can be only cured quickly with the mainstream medicine and kept repeating how alternative medicine is not needed in developing countries. They portrayed a scenario in a way that as if the government is gambling with people's life by giving some random remedies or while we are promoting the alternative medicine. This is not the case right now. um, when there are cases which can't be cured by the conventional medical way, there are some cases where alternative medicines have some kind of solution. It might not prove a definite solution, but there are possibilities of to cure. So when you're not promoting the alternative medicine aggressively, you are also not promoting their survival chance. So when alternative medicine is promoted aggressively, more people would know, would be aware of the alternative medicine and would keen to try on. If it's possible, if it's working, then it's good for them lah. And we are enforcing the idea And regarding the statement which was stated by by the opposition, where giving some random leaves when we are enforcing uh, alternative medicine aggressively, some people are gonna just come up with some this leaf is gonna cure this cancer, so everyone's gonna buy this leaf, and they're gonna get betrayed or they're gonna get scammed. But this is not the issue. We are enforcing the idea of only authorized person with necessary license to have the authority to perform and provide consultation in the name of alternative medicine. So it doesn't mean that anybody can perform alternative medicine. It has its own procedures, just as conventional medicine has. The opposition have failed to project an alternative solution for the medical cases where the conventional medicine could not help the patient. They are in the thought that simply because we are moving towards the future, we should opt for the modern medicine without considering the feasibility, the affordability, and the benefits provided by such alternative medicines. They also kept mentioning we have no proof of its effectiveness, when I think I've clearly mentioned earlier that there are many hospitals from the well developed first world countries which recommends alternative medicine as a option and as a choice. So uh, what we are trying to prove over here is we are not trying to prove that we are not trying to demolish the conventional medicine and only promote alternative medicine. We are not saying conventional medicine is useless and only alternative medicine should be used. But what we are trying to say is that alternative medicine should be promoted so that many people would be aware of the choice that they have and decide to give a try. This would eventually increase their success rate. The opposition team has also failed to comprehend our point that alternative medicine have proven its reliability by being suggested by well developed and first world country, as I mentioned earlier. A report from Winchester Hospital, which and hospitals affiliated with Yale, Duke, Johns and Hopkins. Um, I hope that the member of law look through this issue through our lens and side with the government in today's motion that this house, as a developing country, would aggressively promote the use of alternative medicine. And it also, to conclude, promoting alternative medicine aggressively, we are also striving to a healthy and better community as a holistic. So by this, I would like to end my case. Thank you.
Thank you, speakers. We have now come to the end of the debate. With that, the House of Parliament is adjourned.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. All right. Okay. So everyone is here, right? So I don't want to give verdict if everyone is not here.
Opusa is here.
UTHM is here.
The government side, are you there? Or the government side?
Yes, we are.
All right. Okay. Sure. Good. So because I didn't see you guys, so I don't know whether you guys are here or not. So okay, that's fine. I hope my voice are clear. It's audible for you guys to hear my verdict. So if you guys didn't hear anything or you wanted me to repeat anything, please tell me to do so. I don't mind. Okay. So before I even proceed for the verdict, okay, let me explain on how I will give out my verdict. Okay. First, I will first give my verdicts, and second I will go for the general feedbacks, and thirdly I will go for personal feedbacks if you guys wanted what you guys wanted to have. So that's what I wanted to cover first. Do you guys need some personal feedbacks, or you guys wanted to contact me after the rounds? Because some teams they prefer to contact after rounds. So how is it with you guys? You guys wanted for me to give some feedbacks during the sessions or after the session?
You think?
I think Opusa is good with giving it here.
Okay, all right. So go on side.
Likewise, we can give it here.
All right, sure. All right. Okay. To go further with the verdict first. First of all, congratulations to both sides. You guys able to like have a comprehensive debate between each other, and you guys did really well in carry out the motion today. So my verdict for today is I will reject the motions from today's sides and definitely give the wins to the opposition side, which is UTHMB. So now I go why I'm giving the wins to the UTHMB instead of the government side. So the biggest problems in today's debate is that there is a there are you guys are lacking in characterizations in both sides. Honestly speaking, both sides are really lacking in characterizing what you guys wanted to speak. So the big because the motion for today is about the developing countries, but what I'm hearing from you guys is that is between alternative medicines versus modern medicines. Yeah, you guys did touch a little bit on modern medicine, the developing countries and whatsoever. But the thing is, it was a very on the surface instead of carefully examines on how this aggressively promoting will actually affecting these developing nations. So, but what you guys did for both sides, are you guys actually comparing which medicines are better, whether alternative or modern medicines? So, why I'm giving the wins to the opposing sides? So, even if they still try to put in a notion that okay, modern medicines are better compared to alternative vaccines, so I don't really give that credits, but at least what they try to do here, they say that okay, in developing nations, there are certain problems that we need to solve, which is they don't have the capacity, they don't have the capacity to do research to ensure that those alternative medicines are going to be useful for the use in their nation. And also they talk about the uh, wait they talk about the supply and demands of monies and alternative medicines in developing countries, which is a very good point establishing whether or not uh, alternative medicines should be used in developing countries or not. So I will go further points by points given by your sides. Okay, on your government side, you guys talking about the benefits of the alternative vaccines. Okay, I think that's a very good point to start up a debate. You prove to me that this alternative vaccine is something that really good and should be used in a developing nation or even in developed nation. So I accept that points. But the thing is, it was dragged out from the first speaker until the last speaker. So I want to hear from you guys why by having why all these benefits are going to help these developing countries and should be promoted aggressively. So that's the things that lack on your side, because the words here is aggressively promotes, and there is nothing coming from the government side. You guys to try to characterize what it means by aggressive promos. Are you guys to by saying that aggressive promos, you guys are going to simply only use on alternative vaccines and totally ignore the modern vaccines? Okay, I do admit that you guys did clarify about you guys still going to use medicine, modern medicine. But the thing is, that thing comes out in your reply speech instead of your substantive speech. So when something this importance coming from your reply speech, I couldn't give any credits on that matter, because all those things actually should coming from your substantive speech, where you should actually explain to me your mechanism on how you wanted to aggressively promote the use of alternative vaccines. Do you have any like 50% usage, 80% usage, 100% usage? You should at least explain to me. So how you guys to ensure that this model, how you guys wanted to ensure that all those side effects are going to be controlled? Are you guys going to use modern medicine to ensure that okay, all the side effects from the alternative vaccines are going to be catered in the developing nations? That's the thing that uncatered and unexplained in throughout the debates, which is should be done because this is a THW motion, which is this house would. When it comes to this house would is a mechanism, is a what we in what we in a normal debate we call is a policy motion. And then when it comes to policy motion, you should provide us a mechanism on how you want it to aggressively promote. But I think the same goes for the opposition side. You guys didn't provide me with any mechanism on how you wanted to ensure wanted to make sure that the uses of the alternative vaccines are not like not being aggressive reviews and whatsoever. Like you propose a counter mechanism, and even if you don't want to propose any mechanism, you should point out that okay, this side they don't propose us any mechanism, so we don't need to provide any mechanism to actually to cater to what they have been said. So mechanism is really important in a policy debate, is because we wanted to ensure that the judges, the educators understand what's the implications and how you guys wanted to do the debates, how you wanted to carry out the debates at the end of the day. For example, right? Because when you don't have the mechanism, when you guys don't have the mechanism throughout the first speaker, second speaker, and third speaker, you guys just talk about the benefit of the alternative vaccines, for example, which means that the biggest problem is that the opposition side already concede to that the benefits. They already said, yeah, there is benefit. We accept that. So it means that you guys still fighting for something that you guys already won. You guys don't have anything else to like establish anymore on this the benefit of this matter. But so you guys should move forward and explain more why this developing nation need to have need to aggressively promote the use of alternative. For example, like your third speaker, I think it's a very sad for these points coming very late from your third speaker. Your third speaker talk about the accessibilities and affordability, and they talk about the awareness, which is will create more people to invest in the alternative vaccines. So the thing is, if all these matters coming early from your second speaker and your from your second speaker or your from your first speaker, at least I could actually like give more credits to this matter, because I want to know why this the problem of accessibilities and affordability is a very major issue, and how the usage of alternative vaccines can solve these kind of problems, and why such awareness should be really created to ensure such fundings are being given into the alternative vaccines. So, but the thing is, this kind of things doesn't really being catered in a government case. While for the opposition side, I would say like, okay, I didn't say that you guys did really good in explaining the case. Like you get for me, this only your second speaker which really characterized well on the points of uh, developing nation, which is that he talked about this to circulate money, and also the uh, yeah the most point that I will give a credit is to try to circulate money, which is you wanted to bring more money because this is a developing countries. Money is something that really important. You should bring more money into the countries, and then you wanted to improve the medical facilities that you have in that countries. So money is really important, and alternative vaccines couldn't bring such benefits to the developing countries. So, but the situation, and if you guys did actually create a mechanism, let's say you guys say that okay, we want if you wanted to actively promoting the alternative vaccine, you should at least wait until our countries become a developed nation. At that moment, our countries will actually have already stable, and already have modern facilities that can actually cater if there is any side effect, if there is any problems coming from the usage of alternative vaccines. So you guys can actually, so by having a mechanism helping you guys to provide a better counter proposal or counter arguments to what being said by from the government side. And government side don't really engage to your points which is about the circulating monies, try to improve the medical facilities, try to improve the supply and demands. The government side didn't really engage to this matter, which is I think that's the reason, because this is the points which is stand out throughout the debate, while others point which is like the benefit and whatsoever, I will give credit, but it wasn't like something that really important throughout the debate, because the debate is because it is not answering the purpose of this debate, which is why is it important for us to aggressively promote the use of alternative vaccines in the developing countries. So like, and then there is some fighting against the definitions of what is medicine, because on the other parties this medicine is something is that does not include the procedures. So S3 they say it's just a procedure, so does not include them, consider as a modern medicines, while on your side it says that medicines are also involved technologies as well. So these kind of things shouldn't happens if both sides already characterize what is medicine, what is means by aggressively promoting, what is mean by alternative medicine, what is mean by modern medicines, so what is mean by developed nations. So if you guys did really characterize this matter from the very good from the very get go of the debates, at least such confusion wouldn't happen, and you guys wouldn't like having a very minor such a minor clash instead of having a clashes on the uh, developing nation. So yep, I think not I got nothing much to say. And then if go to the personal feedback, so for PM, right? Yeah, PM. Yeah. Okay, for PM, I think both. I will just go for both PM and LO. For both PM and LO, your job as a prime minister and also a leader of oppositions are to characterize the debate. What are the purpose of your sides? What are the burden of proof that you guys wanted to bring into the tables? Because what are the stakeholders that you wanted to bring out to that you wanted to protect today? So because like in both sides, you guys did explain to me what is a medicine, what is alternative medicines. You guys did explain to me what is the benefit of both medicines. Okay, you guys did characterize all these matters, but I think it's some things that are lacking is that okay, who is the stakeholders that are really important here? So in developing nations, there are a lot of stakeholders that you wanted to protect. For example, like the medical facilities, the medical departments, like maybe the citizen itself, and then maybe about the government itself, the stakeholders, and then the researchers, and then the practitioner. So there are a lot of stakeholders that you can actually mention. So how by actually aggressively promote the use of alternative medicines or do not aggressively promote will actually protect this stakeholder better. And if possible, like some things that I will always say as a first speaker, what are the spirit of the motion? The spirit of the motion is what the motion trying to achieve, and are these in line with what you guys wanted to achieve? So you guys mentioned to me, so what are the spirit of the motion? The motion today are try to make sure the alternative medicines are in the same place as the modern medicine, or at least do not being far away or not being like really in a very different position compared to the modern medicines. So you guys explain the position. You guys explain what you guys wanted to achieve from the spirit of the motion itself. So that's what the first speaker of both sides supposed to do, which is you guys both did not this do not do it really well on this subject. And then for DLO and for DPMs, so I will go for I think that's a okay. Sorry for LO, just extra comment for you. I'm not sure. For LO, you spend around 4 minutes for a rebuttal, which is there is a good rebuttal, which is about what is it related to the developing countries. But the thing is, such rebuttal or such rebuttal doesn't been developed. So but it's fine because it was developed by your second speaker. But the thing is, you spend too much time on rebuttal. So as a first speaker, your main job, as I said earlier, is to characterize the debate, what your team wanted to say throughout the debate. So your main job is not to rebut the whole thing. You give the job to your third speaker or your second speaker. So when you spend too much time on rebutting, you don't have much time to actually characterize the debate. Compared to the PM at least they're able to define what they wanted. They're able to define what is alternative medicines, what they wanted to achieve at least. But from your side, these kind of things are absent. So if possible, as an LO, at the first speaker of the opposition, you shouldn't like put so much time in rebutting. So for DLO and DPM, so I think for the government side, again, like because you guys it goes back to the for the DPM, right? You talk about you go because I'm seeing hope when you start your speech. You talk about developing countries have a lot of health issue. So I'm hoping for you to further develop these points. So how this health issue is something that really important, and how and why modern medicine couldn't solve these problems. Couldn't solve these problems instead of just relying on the benefit, because theory says that okay, because on both sides I can see that there's a fair point that okay, modern medicine sometimes can do but sometimes can fail, but same thing goes for alternate medicine. So what are the other things that I should consider to on this on health issue? So that's the things about that's what we can talk about, accessibility and affordability, which your third speaker mentioned earlier, mentioned later from on her speech. So if you actually bring this point earlier, I will give more credits on your points. So but instead you more focus on the still on the benefits of the modern alternative medicine, which is operate in holistic concept, the immune system, chances to heal naturally. So like I do accept, and the opposition side also already accept that point. They already concede to this point. But so why is it so important in developing nation is not be answered yet. So same goes for the yellow. I think like again, you also mentioned about the advantages of the modern medicine. So yeah, I again just like I said earlier, I do accept that point, but it wasn't really give any weightage to debate. But the things that it gives some weightage to your argument is that you talk about the supply and demands, the medical facilities, you talk about the revenue and whatsoever. This kind of thing actually bring values to your speech, because these are things that being the main point, the main focus of today's debate. So if this not being mentioned, then it was useless to because that's what we wanted to achieve in today's debate. So for both whip from both side, all right, government side and opposition side. See, government whip. I think like you did really good in answer and rebutting the points given from the other parties. But the thing is like you also have a tendency to bring out some things that not been mentioned by your friend, which is about the awareness, accessibility, and many more lah. So this kind of things like if possible like should be reduced. If you got any idea and the things that not be mentioned by your friends, and you got you find it early before your turn. Maybe you pass it to your friends for them to speak early, because from on your part you just need to reinforce what have been said by your friends. So the accessibility points and the awareness points was a totally a new points coming from you. So which I hope that I could give credits, but I couldn't do so because of the rules that stated that you cannot give any new points as a third speaker. So for the government side, like you did good. I would say that overall you did a good job in reinforce back what your the first and second speaker have been saying. So again, but the thing is like compare the points about developing nations coming very late also in your speech. You still keep on talking about you still keep on comparing between the benefit of the alternative vaccines and also modern medicine most of the times compared to talking about developing nations itself. So so I think in conclusion overall in today's debates, like the spirit of this motion itself is about the developing nation was not really achieved, but at least they got opportunity side. At least they're able to touch certain matters on the developing nation, which is about the revenue, talking about the medical facilities and many more, which is not being rebutted by the other parties. Even though there's an effort coming from the government week, but it was coming very late, which is I couldn't give credits to this matter. So with that, that's the reason I give the wins to the opposition side. So I think that's all from me. Thank you. So you guys got any question? You guys can PM me. And
Okay, thank you all. So the debate session is over. Thank you everyone and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, adjudicator.
Thank you, everyone.
Chairperson,
Yes.
we convene back at 4:30, right?
Yes, for the
All right, thank you.
welcome. Good luck.
Thank you, everyone. All the
Thank
best
you, everyone. It
for
was a good debate.
next debate.